Good evening, good evening, good evening. To God be the glory, and I'm here to give my testimony on what God has done in my life, and I don't know where to start and where to end, but I will do my best to make it short because if I want to go ahead to to say everything, this video is going to be about 4 hours, but I'm going to make it a little bit brief and short. I just want to testify about the goodness of God upon my life and upon what He has done for my family. I came to know my daddy, my spiritual daddy, Prophet Dr. King Samuel Tato, not here in overseas. I knew him while we were still back home, while I was still a little child. He was our big brother in the Cartier, and he was coming at our house, and he was a pastor then also. So when he moved to the US, and luckily I also moved to the US, and I was privileged to live with him at some point in my life in the US before moving to Canada. And when I moved to Canada, we were still in communication, but not as often as it should be. And you know, when God has a plan in your life, the devil can manipulate the way he wants to manipulate, and at times we must be sensitive to the things of God. So when I came to Canada, things were good, and if I mean good, things were good, and I had a very calm life. I met my fiance, and we started living together at a certain point, and we got married. And things were good. I was going to church, but I had a conviction in my mind that God is going to use me one day. I knew God has a plan for my life to save him. I knew God has a plan for my life to preach the gospel. I knew God has a bigger purpose in my life. But as life goes, I was not serious about that. When the thought will come in my mind, I will brush it aside. I said, no, it's not time for me to become a servant of God. And I went on with my life, and things were fine. It was 2000 and 2019 that I told my wife. That was around July 8th, in one of our vacation. That was when already my son was born, and one of our vacation, I told my wife, after I come back, I'm done with all this thing about going up and down. I want to save God now. It is time for me to answer the calling of God. And behold, I came back that 2019 July, and around August. No, we came back, after our son, because we were on a vacation to celebrate our son's birthday. And that was, I think, his third year birthday. And we came back, and behold, around the 10th of July, I became very sick until it was so serious, and my wife said, let's go to the hospital. I thought, no, it was just tiredness because of up and down that we have been out for some few weeks. And he said, no, let's go to the hospital. And we went to the hospital, and upon entering the hospital, I asked that I want to throw up, and I vomited. All what I brought out was blood. I vomited blood. As the last thing I remember, I passed out. And all what I saw was, I was caught up in the heavens, and I just saw myself lying there helplessly. I saw my wife, I saw the nurses, I saw the doctor, how they were trying to revive me. I was gone. And my wife stood beside me and said, no, you cannot die. You cannot die now. You told me you want to save God. Oh God, he cannot die now. He has a bigger purpose in this earth. You cannot allow him to die now. And because of what I think my wife had faith, because the doctor, all of them, the nurses, they already gave up because nothing was working. My pulse gone, everything gone. I was cold. And my wife said, I cannot die now. My wife was praying that God show me my wife as she was crying and crying, praying that no, I cannot die now. I cannot die now. And God said, you have to go back. I have a voice say, you have to go back. I have sent you to nation. I have sent you to nation. Go and fulfill your purpose. And I came back and I just saw nurses that they have given up. My wife is there. They are trying to calm her down, that there's nothing they can do. And I jack up and I came up and my wife told me, no, he is alive. He is alive. And the doctor, they rushed back to my body and connected. They start putting back all the wires in me, and that is how I was stabilized. And they took me to the ward, and I was in the hospital for about 3 weeks, almost a month. And after I came out of the hospital, I told my wife that it is enough, that this is what God has asked me to do. God has sent me to nations to preach the gospel. God has sent me to nations to preach his love. And my wife said that will be good. And maybe at that moment, she did not think I meant it. She thought maybe it's because of what I have gone through, because of the illness that I have just gone through. That was severe. That was the first time I really went through severe sickness. I was born a sickle cell, and I've been praying for God to heal me totally from that disease. And that was the first time I went through that severe I cannot call it that was a sickle cell crisis. That was an attack, because I was just pulling out blood. And the doctor, they did everything. They said, no, I have ulcer in my stomach. I said, where the ulcer came from immediately? And they said they cannot tell. And so, luckily, when I was in that hospital, I started praying. Praying, speaking I was baptized in automatic tongues of fire, and I was speaking in tongues in the hospitals, praying, worshiping God. And before I was discharged, they conducted the test. They said that ulcer disappeared, everything has disappeared, I'm fine to go home. And I came home recovering little by little. And at a certain point, when my wife began to see that, what I told him, it is very serious. And I think it was a battle in my house. It was a battle. My wife, she was, when I was in the war, we would go to church and come back, change, and go party, go and drink. So I think she was comfortable with that. We're going to church. And when I told her that I want to save God myself fully, God has called me to preach the gospel, maybe she thought it was just something I was just talking, and afterward I'm going to go back to my normal life. And it came to a point that I was serious with the things of God, and I was praying to God. I said, God, I need a spiritual father. I need somebody that will guide me. I need somebody that I will submit to. And what I knew is that God will show me all these big names, like Dr. Paul Enechi. God will show me all these big prophet, all these big apostle. And God brought to me my daddy. He said, submit under your daddy. Submit under Prophet Dr. King Samuel Tatum. I said, wow. And I was asking God, but why? I said, I needed all this big name. He said, that is who I have given you. And I called Daddy and I said, this is what God has asked me to do. God has asked me to submit under you like a son. And Daddy said, okay, give me one day, let me pray. And he prayed and he got back to me. He said, okay, I have accepted you as a son. And he prayed with me. From that day, I start working with Daddy. I start submitting under Daddy, and and the devil attacked my house. If I mean attacked, he attacked my house. You can ask my daddy and he will tell you the attack that I have gone through. And my wife became something else. My wife became something else. She said she will not be part of that ministry. She did not marry a pastor. So it was a challenge. I spoke with Daddy and Daddy said, just calm down, keep praying. We are praying. It is an attack. And Daddy said, I knew if there was not an attack like this, it means God has not called you. And it was a serious thing. My house nearly break because of this. My wife was so angry. My wife never wanted to hear anything about church, about any man of God. But I asked myself, this is the same woman that we were going to church. We were praying, and when we come back, we go to party. She is fine. Why now that I have totally surrendered and doing the right thing, she is more angry than ever before? And the Holy Spirit said, because the devil knows what you are about to do. The devil knows the nation you are about to step into, and people that are going to be delivered from your ministry. So I should be prepared for a more bigger battles. And it was not easy. And Daddy kept encouraging me. Daddy prayed with me and said, just keep quiet, just keep praying. I will pray with you. And I know your wife also will be used mightily to deliver his family, to deliver her family. So keep praying with her, love your wife, don't be angry with her. Daddy gave me advice. Daddy encouraged me in the mind, because as for me, I was knowing that Daddy is going to say, oh, no. If this woman does not want you to save God, you better separate with her. So I was waiting for that. I was ready to move out of my house. And Daddy said, oh, no, you have just started. You have not seen anything. There is more battle for you to fight, but you are going to overcome. All what you need to do is to pray, is to fast. I'm praying with you, and Daddy said you are going to stay there. You are going nowhere. You are going to deliver your wife. You say you are a prophet. You will deliver her. You will pray for her, and she will be free. And that first battle passed, that trial moment passed, and things began to fall in place. And my wife began to, one time he will come to church, the other he will not come. He will at a certain point he will come. At other time she will not come. At the point she will come. At the other time she will not come. And I kept praying. I kept doing what Daddy was advising me to do. I kept seeking the face of God. And afterward, things seems like, okay, it is getting a balance. My wife went to Cameroon for vacation. Upon her return, everything became something else. Everything changed. She stopped coming to church. She said she is a Catholic. She will not be part of the ministry. She is going to Catholic church. And my house was under fire. And she thought that maybe because of my son, she knows I love my son very much. She knows I love her too very much. So she thought that because of my son and because of what we had, the house, the vehicle, she is going to use that to threaten me or to keep me one place, or to make me to change from what I have stood my ground and say I will save God and save God for good. I have given up everything to the devil. I I have surrendered everything to God. Anyhow it want, I will save God. And she came and she threatened me, oh, if you want, I will take all the house, I will take the cars, you will not see your son again. And I called daddy and I spoke to daddy, and daddy said, calm down, just be praying, just be doing what you are, just be saving your God. Love her more, show her more love, listen to her. Daddy gave me advice. I mean, I did everything as daddy said. I kept praying, I calmed down. All what she was doing, I just kept doing what I was doing in the house. At times I will cook, at times I will clean, just advise her, caution her, and tell her that you like it or not, you are going to save God. You like it or not, you are going to be part of this church. You like it or not, you will be part of this church. There is no turning back. And you think there is not turning, I am not turning back. And if it went to a point that I don't like, what we want us to do is, please take the house, take the car, take my son, go where you want to go, but I am going to save God. I am going to preach the gospel. Nobody can stop that anymore. It is too late for the devil to take me back to where I was. And I told her that it is time for her to make her decision if she is part of this family or not. And if not, then I have surrendered everything to her. I don't need anything. I don't need the house. I don't need the cars. I don't need. My son will look for me one day. So far as he is my son, he is going to look for his father. So take her, take him and go with him where you want to go. And take everything you want to take. I will save God and I will preach the gospel. And she starts seeing that I am not blinking. I am serious with what I am doing, praying, fasting, studying. And little by little, she started to change. She started to come down, to accept the ministry, to accept what I am doing. Now she is fully part and parcel of the ministry. She is fully aware that there is no turning back with my family. And so far as she is part of this family, so far as I married her, so far as he is my wife, she is my wife, she must support the husband. She must be part of what I am doing, because that is how we have been working together for long. I have supported her. She has supported me with different adventure. Not when I have total surrender to God, totally surrender to God, and this one she does not like. Why the other thing that I was going in, she accepts, she love. Why now? Why this one that I thought she will be the most happiest, that, oh, my husband has totally surrendered to God, it is the worst. She does not want to catch it and say, but thank God she has come to an awareness that there is no turning back with what God has called me to do, and she must be part of it. My family, I'm carrying my family along to the mission God has given me, and we are now in harmony. The house is in peace. All thanks to my daddy, and thanks to the Bible school that I enroll myself with, the Remnant College Bible School. It is the best thing I have ever done in my life. It is the best thing I think I have, the best adventure I have ever entered, because the knowledge that I have gotten from this Bible school, the advice, the guidance, nowhere I could have gotten this. Nowhere. If I could have gone to this big spiritual father that already has big name, that has mega church, I think my house could have been on sham right now. I could have been separated from my family right now, because where you don't have somebody to guide you, like a spiritual dad, somebody to pray for you, the devil will manipulate you. The devil will intensify your situation. The devil will use advantage over you because you lack knowledge. You cannot see. I'm just new into ministry, and the devil knows what God is about to do with my life, and so he has brought me all type of challenges. I have seen just this short time I have been into ministry, If I start enlist you the challenges that I've gone through, my daddy will tell you, I lost contract, I lost job, because of my ministry, because of what God is about to do in my life. But I stood firm. I know God is taking me to a better place. I know there are greater things ahead. I know that God is about to do something marvelous that eyes and ears have not seen. And he said, I am sending you to nation. And I know the nation that God is going to send me to, there will be forever blessed. The people that I'm going to connect with after my ordination that is coming tomorrow, a new beginning will start in my ministry. A new beginning will start in my life. There will be signs and wonders. There will be mighty works in the things of God, in the ministry that God is giving me. There will be mighty miracles. There will be miracles that will blow the mind of people, because God is about to do something new. God is about to surprise people. God is about to announce himself again one more time. And so please, I want to thank you, Daddy, very much for all the guidance, for all the love, for all the support, for all the encouragement, for keeping me in line with the word of God, for encouraging me about my family, and for loving me and my family. No matter the challenges we were going through, you stood by your son. You prayed for me. You encouraged me to stay with my family, to pray more and more for my wife, to support my wife, to love her more and more. I could not have gotten this anywhere. And I want to thank you, Daddy, from the bottom of my heart, from all what you have done, from the time I stepped into ministry, from the time I surrender, I submitted under you. The advice, the guidance, the prayer I have gotten from you, I could have not gotten it anywhere. So I'm here to testify the goodness of God. Daddy, God is going to continue to use you mightily. God is going to surprise you mightily. The things that eyes have not seen is about to start happening in your life, just because of your good heart, just because of the heart you have for younger preacher, for younger minister of God. You give them your best. You will give them the best advice you can give a son. You will tell them the truth. You will tell them what to do and what not to do. You have never hidden anything, even your own failure, even your own challenges. You tell us that this is where I have failed for, and so you don't do that. You don't go there. This is what I have. This is the challenges I have passed through. So learn from me. Learn from my mistake. Learn from what you have seen. Learn from what I am telling you, and just that advice, just that guidance. Daddy, I am blessed, and I thank God. I pray for you every day. I honor you, and God knows within my heart how I love you. And thank to all my classmates. Thank you all for the support. We are like a family. We came together, we prayed together, we support one another. And I thank each and every one of you for what God is about to do in your life, for what God is about to do in your ministry. It will be wonder in the eyes of people. Thank you all for standing by our daddy. Thank you for the prayers. Thank you for supporting each and every one of us. Thank you for your tirelessness. You are unwavering support that you have given to your sons and daughters around the world. You have been there. You have done your best. You have given us the best that we can ever have anywhere. The best class, best subject, best. The knowledge is so wonderful. Thank you, Daddy. And I will encourage anybody that is seeking to be wired in the things of God. They should look at Remnant College Bible School. It is a place to be. Thank you, Daddy, and I honor you. God bless you, and see you for the ordination. I love you, and Jesus love you very much. Thank you for now, Daddy. Bye, and stay blessed.